Hey everyone, welcome back to our Flipped Classroom Astro Academy. Today our topic is your flipped classroom, do's and don'ts. Since we last met, hopefully you've had a chance to play around with either Screencast-O-Matic or something on the iPad. What we're going to talk about today is how to make whatever you made maybe a little better for your students. So we're going to talk about making your videos and all of the do's we want to consider. The first do I want you to consider is making content with your students in mind. Generic content can be okay, the things you steal from like YouTube or from someone else, another teacher, but kids in general report being more engaged by their own teacher's content, the sound of your voice, the particular mannerisms that you bring to your presentation, the jokes you might make. The second one is a little long, so I'm actually going to go ahead and erase my 3 because otherwise we won't have any room on this page. Do number 2 is to start with your lesson goals and build your video from there. It can be really tempting to be like, oh my God, I could totally make this video for, whatever content. But make sure it fits in your overall plan. And that's the best way to deliver that particular information for your students. For instance, lower order ideas or skills are perfect for video. Higher order objectives, like the how or the why, are a lot deeper and can require more explanation than a video can offer. So those are less appropriate for making your video. Once you get into videos and you get the hang of it, it can be really tempting to use them for everything you're teaching in class. I would say that they're a good instructional tool. I personally don't flip my classroom entirely. I base it on whatever we're trying to learn. Another do is maybe not super popular because it can really slow you down. But in my experience, I found that it's really useful. Write a script. It helps keep your thoughts organized. It helps you be concise. You would not believe how long the script is that I just made for this video. Speaking of being concise, try to keep your video under 5 to 7 minutes. There is not a lot you want to watch on YouTube for more than 5 minutes, and your kids have an even shorter attention span than you do or I do, so keep it short. Use a script to help you do that. Number 5 is think visually. It's a visual medium for a visual audience. Think about what's going to engage your kids, what will entertain them, because there is a level of entertainment. I personally like images that are a little bit gnarly, like that human eyeball. Google image search is totally your friend. My last suggestion for making your video is to include some Easter eggs. What I mean by Easter eggs are something weird that you ask the kids to do on their paper as they're taking notes, or an inside joke, but it's something that tells you that they actually watched the video. I like to say, at the top of your paper, write, Spanish class is my favorite. And then when I'm checking in their papers, I get to see exactly who watched the video and who copied their friends' notes. Or I'll say, like, when you walk into class tomorrow, you're going to tell me, I don't know, your favorite word in Spanish, which is always going to be something like chicharrones or something fun to say. Come up with your own funny thing, and the kids are going to feel like they have this inside joke with you after they watch the video that the kids who don't do their homework, and, hopefully not too many of them, but they won't have that. When it comes to actually using your video, the first thing you need to think about is access. Though it doesn't always seem like it, not all of our kids have easy access to Wi-Fi or easy access to computers. What I like to do is I give them a couple days to finish the video. I tell them if you need a pass to go to the LRC, go for it. I also try to make all my videos phone compatible. If you can do your homework on your phone, you're going to be much more inclined to do it because, let's be real, most of us are staring at our phones for like 50% of our day anyway. Number 2 is really think long and hard about your workflow plan. What is it going to be like for kids in your class to use their videos? Think about what are they doing when they're watching your video. Think about what platform you want to use to present it. If you put it up on YouTube, your kids can skip you, which even though you and I know that your information is super valuable, they might not appreciate that. If you put something on Edpuzzle or Edmodo what you can do is have a box that you check saying you can't skip it, and you have the chance to add some formative assessment questions to test them as you go. Both are free. Kids just need a login. You just need a login. But once you get it up there, it's easy, and there are some other materials to steal. The first time I gave kids a video on Edpuzzle, they were like, oh, we hate Edpuzzle. I'm like, why? And they're like, because we can't skip you, which does not warm the heart, but does tell you that maybe that's a really solid way to make sure they're getting the information that they need, and you get to see how they're answering the questions and how much they're getting it as you go. Once you decide how you're going to present your videos, think about how you can handhold not just for your kids, but for parents. Even though we think that kids know everything and they're this digital generation, which they are, if you're not putting this on Snapchat, they might not necessarily know how to use it. I take about 10 minutes when I start doing this in class to teach them where the videos are, what my expectations are. I try to do the same for parents. In general, I found parents really like to know what their kids are doing, and they really like videos for absent work. Walk the parents through it because they might be less inclined toward the digital stuff even than you and I are. Part of the hand-holding is expressing to kids that this is not an option. It's not a choice. You can choose to learn this way in your class or not. This is how the class is going. One of the ways you can show kids that this is not an optional activity is by developing a strong plan for the day that the videos do for the kids who choose not to do the video. I have found that if I make that first lesson where we're going to use the material we learned on the video super, super cool and super fun, that's effective because kids can't participate in that cool lesson if they haven't done the video. I actually make them sit in what we call the corner of shame, right in front of the bulky desktop computer, and watch the video during class, and they don't get to play the game or do the cool activity or essentially participate in the carnival that is all of our classes. Once a kid says, can I watch it on my phone? And I say, no, you have to watch it at the lame computer, I find that they tend to get their videos done on time. Okay, the don'ts are fast because there are not a lot of ways you can screw this up. First of all, don't worry about how slick or not slick this looks. It does not need to be a professional video. You can tell I practice what I preach here. In general, the content is what it's all about. And I find a little homely video can be very earnest and very compelling. Hopefully you're with me on that one. Okay, second, don't think your content is going to last forever. The flipped classroom works best when your content is updated, maybe even yearly, based on your specific group of kids, based on some new app that you find that looks really cool. And that sucks, but I will tell you, the more you practice this, the faster you can get at it. I also find it a very compelling argument for not actually being in my videos because I do not need kids' opinions on what I was wearing 5 years ago or how different I looked, last year. That wraps it up for this video. When I see you on Thursday, we're going to focus on practicing what we talked about here, making some really solid videos, and we're going to think about next time because next time is the part that I personally think is the hardest, and that's planning for class time. Once you have the video, it's like you double your planning time, and it's like, oh my God, what the heck are we going to do in class? And that can be the scariest part, but also the most valuable part. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll look forward to seeing you at our next Astro Academy.